A very warm welcome to all the viewers who have joined. Korkor, Wilson, David, James, Martins, Don, Alex, Ababia, YT, Yunus, Mishghina, Dude, Bob says hi. Hassan asks, tell me about how TPLF things are going. Fine, Kidane, Cabriab Kidane. Hello, Cabriab. Fine Star Media, welcome Fine Star Media. Looks like you're from Romania. Abdurrahman Mahad, hi. Beatles, hi Beatles. Abi Hali Selassie, hello Abi Hali Selassie. Nice Cubano, don't call my name. Salam Yamir, hi brother, hi Salam Yamir. Ababiya, Noor Yaya, Manuel Erler. Greetings to Pakistan, says Manuel Erler. Noor Yaya, Musi, Yinigal, Sami Hele. You think Abe will resign after all this? Sami Hele says. Good question. Peace, Rebecca Iaso has joined. Alex Tafera, hi Alex Tafera. Adan has also joined. Noor Ahmad Ali, one of my regular viewers. Welcome, Noor Ahmad Ali. Babi, have you seen a picture of Oromo leaders after 40? Yes, I have seen pictures of Jawar Mohammed, Bekle Garba. They have definitely lost some weight, no doubt about that. Especially Jawar, he has lost some weight. YKMVPK, Mike Takle. Hi, Mike Takle. An amateur's astrophotography, he needed it. Yes, he needed it, but not in prison. The way he lost weight, no one would like to go through this sort of experience. Tasage Fisaha, what's new with you? Please share us now. I'll talk about just Tigray conflict today. No other issue will come under discussion today. Just Tigray. Because so much is happening in Tigray. Things are moving at a very fast pace in Tigray. This week has been a very tumultuous week, and Tigray Defense Forces are now regrouping. If you want me to sum up the ongoing week, viewers, Tigray Defense Forces are regrouping, reorganizing, because they are now free to regroup in central Tigray. Central Tigray was under pressure from Ethiopian National Defense Forces and Eritrean forces when the war started, viewers. And we saw several fierce battles in central Tigray. But after Sambare and Gijit were bombarded by ENDF, TDF forces advanced towards Amhara state. They have now entered Amhara state. Now much of the fighting in Tigray is going on in southern Tigray and in Amhara areas as well. That is why Tigray Defense Forces now have ample time and opportunity to regroup in central Tigray. We are not hearing much about fighting in central Tigray, viewers. So TDF have this opportunity to regroup themselves in central Tigray. That is what they are doing now. For me, this is the most important thing, that TPLF now has opportunity to regroup in central Tigray. And from central Tigray, they will definitely then move towards other areas of Tigray. Questions after questions. Mose Garme. Well, some of you are just commenting. I would just like to answer questions. I won't take your comments because it's almost impossible to read all these comments. TPLF invaded Amhara, says an amateur astrophotography. TPLF fighters are in Amhara state. And that is being said by Amhara state officials, by Amhara residents, that TPLF fighters are in Amhara state. Johannes says that it has become interesting that 10,000 TPLF fighters are in Tigray. What about the advance of ENDF against TPLF? Wilson David asks. Well, just like TPLF, ENDF are also caught up on several fronts. Now they are trying to save southern Tigray. The war has shifted suddenly towards southern Tigray and Amhara state. So in a way, ENDF are now on the back foot, in my view. They were moving from southern Tigray to central Tigray. They were in control of Humera, Volkait on western side. And they were moving towards central Tigray. Now suddenly the war is going on in southern Tigray, in Amhara, Tigray border areas. So in my view, ENDF are on the back footing now, though we have seen some losses suffered by TDF as well in southern Tigray. In southern Tigray, in Ofla, Woreda, definitely some high-ranking officers of TDF have been killed. Names have been given by Amhara regional forces and ENDF forces. ENDF did manage to inflict some losses on TDF in southern Tigray, but TDF have managed to enter Amhara. That is why I think now ENDF are on the back foot. They'll have to push TDF fighters out of Amhara state, out of southern Tigray, towards a central Tigray. So that is why I'm saying that this week belongs to TDF for me. Because all the way from central Tigray, they have managed to enter southern Tigray and Amhara state, and they are building up their military presence in Tigray, Amhara border areas. This war might spread deep into Amhara state. Lily did some comment about Sora Phillips. Cabria Kidane, he's asking about Abiy's surrender, Abiy's resignation. Well, not likely now. But one thing is for sure, if Tigray Defense Forces manage to push ENDF out of Tigray, believe me, this war won't stop at Tigray. This war will reach Addis Ababa. If not militarily, at least politically. If Tigray Defense Forces succeed in pushing ENDF forces out of Tigray, it will weaken Abiy Ahmed's government, and we might see some changed political realities in Addis Ababa if TPLF manage to push ENDF, Eritrean forces out of Tigray. M.A. Hassan says, DN is appreciating me. You are the best. Thank you, DN. At least someone is appreciating me. Otherwise, I am the butt of your criticism, the butt of your attacks from both sides. And I take your attacks with very patience. I don't mind your attacks. I mean, I believe in reporting from both sides. I'll report whether TDF loses or wins, whether ENDF lose or win, I'll report. No matter you like it or not, but my job is to speak the truth. Umar Abdul Rahman is thanking me. He's saying that you're doing a good job. Adan asks, do you see any pattern in Ethiopia's war which could lead to disintegration of Ethiopia? This war would lead to, it can lead to some changes in Ethiopia. Those changes would be positive or negative. It remains to be seen. But this war is going to change Ethiopia in some way. Either there'll be a new approach to ethnic diversity, a new approach to patriotism, or we might see increased differences between ethnic groups in Ethiopia. But this war will definitely lead to changes in Ethiopia, political changes, ground realities will change, I think, especially if TPLF succeeded in pushing ENDF out of Tigray. Umar is asking about the interference of US and other forces, if it will happen or not. US has its limitations. US won't offend Ethiopia because Russia is in Sudan. US would not like to lose Ethiopia as a partner, as an ally. US will keep on putting pressure upon Ethiopia, upon the Ethiopian government. It might impose some soft sanctions, but it won't go for any tough measures against Ethiopian government. Because geostrategically, Russia is here. China wants to be here as well, you know, viewers. Turkey is in Somalia. UAE is here. US has withdrawn from Somalia. The US would not like to offend a key player in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia is a key player. This war has weakened Ethiopia. Otherwise, Ethiopia was one of the key players in this region. So I don't think US would like to go all out against Ethiopian government. Jonathan Malice, I'm sure you've been reporting from the beginning of the war. Thou Turtle has joined. TDF will capture Amhara region or not? No, it's not a question of capturing a region. Of course, TDF cannot capture Amhara region, but it is a question of making Amhara unstable as well. If TDF managed to keep on hitting Amhara regularly, it will lead to instability. It will lead to decreased pressure upon Tigray. How is OLA doing? Ask Ababiya, advancing to Finfine. Well, OLA is far away from Finfine, though they claim to be advancing towards Finfine, but they're far away from Finfine. But definitely they are strengthening their presence on ground in southern and western Oromia. They are capturing new territories. They are pushing back Ethiopian government forces. They are backing their claims with videos, with pictures. People are starting to believe them because their media handling strategy is very impressive. I informed you in a video that they wrote a letter to Addis Standard, an Ethiopian magazine, which published an article about an attack on Abo Church, which was blamed upon OLA fighters. So OLA spokesperson wrote a letter to Addis Standard. OLA fighters clarified their position about the attack on Abo Church. They're handling media very wisely. They are putting evidence, and they're definitely advancing, but they're not close to Finfine. How much TPLF paid you? Someone asks. How much would you pay me? Well, a little off topic, but I got emails from several sources. People want to invest in my studio. They say that your studio is not proper. You should spend on your camera, on your background, on the quality of your videos. I said to all of them that I do not need any financial contribution from anyone. I'm not worried about the paint of my wall, it's discolored or not. I'm not worried about my looks as well. What I worry about is the content of my videos. I do make mistakes, but I try to correct them. I try to present facts. That is why I declined all those offers. I haven't taken a single penny from anyone. If anyone from TPLF side, from ENDF side, if anyone has any evidence, please show this evidence. I just believe in doing my job. I don't take any donations. I don't like taking donations. If I did take donations in future, I'll try to spend the money on humanitarian work, which I'm planning to do. For myself, for this channel, for the background, for camera, I don't need any money from anyone. Mona has joined. She is also one of my regular viewers. I am starting to remember most of you viewers now. I remember almost all of you. Would you call this a genocide at this point? Beatles 95 says. I think we discussed that. Winter Cross, one of my another regular viewer. Okay, can we call it a genocide or not? Well, viewers, when I say that we cannot call it genocide, I am saying it on the basis of my experience of covering wars. Human rights abuses do occur in wars. We have seen that in several previous wars, that religious places are targeted, civilians are terrorized. This is part of a strategy of war, that you terrorize civilians. Of course, 10,000, 20,000 men cannot control a city. So militarily, you have to terrorize them. You have to instill fear in their minds. That is why militaries, armies, they adopt these strategies of terrorizing people. That happens in wars. Genocide is something different. It is a planned, offensive, a deliberate plan to wipe out a race, a group. We have seen cases of human rights abuses in Tigray, but I still maintain that it's difficult to say that Ethiopian government is committing genocide in Tigray. TPLF supporters won't like my views. In the previous chat session, when I talked about genocide, I said the same things. The TPLF viewers, they criticized me. They said I was backing ANDF. But I still maintain my view, my position that I won't say that Ethiopian government is committing genocide of Tigrayans. Yes, war crimes are being committed. US, Europe and UN call it genocide, HM says. Well, I never heard from anyone from US, from Europe calling it genocide. They are calling it ethnic cleansing. There's a difference between ethnic cleansing and genocide. Adam Ababia says, how long do you think the war will last? Well, the question has been answered by an ENDF journal, Johannes Gebremeskel. I did a video on that. He said the war would go on. It can only end at the table. And through negotiations, defense can be met. Otherwise, the war, the end of this war is not in sight. How many clashes there are until now? How many soldiers have died? I cannot answer this question. Even in those wars where there is not this sort of blackout of communication, you cannot give numbers about casualties. These things come out a bit late. What do you think logistics look like for TDF? Now pressure is decreasing on TDF. Since they are managing to penetrate Amhara, they are managing to fight in southern Tigray. So their logistics, the supply of the logistics, it's getting better for them, I think now. Cine, City, Adam, Musi, do you think US will support ENDF? I think I answered this question. Hinok Levan, I like your professionalism. Thank you, Hinok Levan. Beatles, did you see Sudanese Transitional Council? I could not read your entire question, Beatles. Johannes is asking about conflict in Amhara state. Abdullahi said, do you think Ethiopia will convert into Yugoslavia? Well, there are problems in Ethiopia. This war, I said earlier in this session that Tigray war will lead to changes in Ethiopia. Political changes. I hope changes are for the good of Ethiopia. Why do you trust ESAT? Addis asks. Well, when I quote ESAT, people question me. They say that ESAT is anti-Tigray. Why do you quote ESAT? But when I quote Getachorida, when I quote Gabriel Mikhail, no one raises any question. I give you information about what is being claimed by both sides. I am not giving you my view mostly. Sometimes when I have verified information, I do give you my view. Otherwise, I report you from both sides. And please start listening to other side as well. Don't believe ESET if you don't like ESET. But don't boycott ESET. Don't listen to them, what they are saying. Don't believe them. No one is forcing you. But it does not mean that no one should even quote ESET. The ESET and Amhara supporters will say the same things about TDF. So you people should learn to listen to each other. This is the most important problem, that some of you are so much committed to your ethnic groups that you're not willing to even listen to the other side. Please start listening to others. Don't just disregard them that they belong to Amhara state or some other region. Listen to them, then it's up to you to decide whether it's wrong or right. Abdullahi Noor is again asking, Sirah Bahab. I think the big change will be Winter Cross says she's talking about the change after Tigray war. Ababia says, how old are you? How old do I look? Serious question. I even listened to freaking Egypt. Malik says, well done, Malik. 35, 40. Yes, Malik, I am around 40. Birhane said 42. Northwest. Can you talk about India Kashmir region? Well, North region, I think your name is. How many of you want to listen to Kashmir conflict by MyViewsonNews? Hardly 1% or even less than 1%. People here want me to cover Tigray conflict. Someone is saying you're 63. No, I'm not. People want me to talk about Tigray conflict. That is why I'm talking about Tigray conflict. Rude Boy Lexi, also one of my regular viewers. 25 minutes past. One of the best live chat sessions so far. I think we should now end this live chat session. Let me just sum up this week for you. Let me just sum up this week for you viewers. What happened in this week, what is going to happen in the coming days. Firstly, viewers, as I said earlier, war is now spreading into Amhara state, and it's being claimed by Amhara state officials, Amhara residents, that Tigray fighters are in Amhara state. So there is no doubt about that. Now Tigray fighters are in Amhara state. War is spreading. Secondly, TDF fighters are regrouping. They got this opportunity to regroup because because pressure on central Tigray has been decreased after the war in southern Tigray. Now Tigray defense forces are regrouping, reorganizing in central Tigray, In the coming days, we might see some forceful attacks by Tigray Defense Forces from central Tigray to northern side on towards Eritrea border side, and towards Amhara side, towards Humera side as well. We have seen fighting to the south of Tigray towards Amhara. This war could further now spread towards Eritrean border and towards Humera Volkayt as well. Humera Volkayt are under the control of Amhara regional forces. But in the coming weeks, we might see Tigray Defense Forces launching counter-offensives on Humera, Volkayt, and in the areas which are on Tigray Eritrea border. And lastly, viewers, the most important thing for me in this week is the statement given by ENDF General Johannes Gebremeskel. He spoke the truth, viewers. He clearly said that wars cannot end by gun. Wars end at the table. So basically, he called for negotiations. And in that meeting, he was asked by South Sudan's ambassador that if negotiations are the way out, why isn't Ethiopian government going for negotiations? He said that perhaps no efforts have been made so far. So we might see some efforts in the coming days for negotiations, because ENDF are starting to get on the back foot a little. And US is putting pressure upon Ethiopian government as well. So we might see some progress towards negotiations in the coming days or coming weeks. That's my view. Because militarily, negotiations would start after ENDF lose the advantage that it has right now. And ENDF is starting to lose the advantage now, I think, though still it's a bit early to say that ENDF is totally on the back foot. But TDF is starting to regroup, reorganize, and it is bouncing back. And ENDF might go for negotiation. Ethiopian government might go for negotiations in the coming weeks, as the war could spread into Amhara state as well. Thank you, viewers. Thank you all of you for joining. It was a very informative and good live chat session for me. I took your questions. Thank you all of you. Thank you for joining. Yusuf, Ababiya, Dambia, Beatles, City Adam, Addis. Thank you all of you for joining. Musi, Beatles says you're 41. Beatles, you are right on target. Yes, I am 41. Birhane says Shukriya. Shukriya Birhane. Wilson, thank you. Thank you, Wilson. Lante Jigazi. Hinok, keep it up. Thank you, Hinok. Mandafro, you joined late. Thanks, brother. Goal Tigray, you're late too, Goal. ESET are source of Tigray genocide. Messi, Musi, Beatles, Abdullah Nasir, Ababiya. Looking nice for your age, Ababiya. Thank you, Ababiya. Gabriel Chirkos, you don't answer my question. I did not read your question, Gabriel. Maybe next session. Hudan from Somaliland. Very orphan. I like you. I like you very too. Robel, Gabriel. Thank you again. Thank you, Robel. Thank you all of you. Thank you for joining. Let's just wrap up this live chat session. Thank you all of you for joining. See you in the next live chat session. Bye-bye.